Let me give a quick overview about futures and then we'll take some live trades. So just like options, right? Before that, right? We all understand that every investment comes with uh, comes with a risk. Everything has its own advantages, disadvantages. Stocks has its own advantages. So people who invested in 2020 in Tesla, they made hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Not only Tesla but many other stocks. So it's all about when you started investing, and it's all about long term, right? Understanding about the long term. Don't worry about short term. So every out of 100 years, yeah, all the stocks keep on increasing, all the indices keep on increasing. There are always some downturns, but it is only for a, yeah, for short term. Again, for every 10 years you have 1 year which is a bearish, and then you have 9 years which are bullish. So we should not worry about that 1 year bearish and right, quit from the market or stop investing. So with that, right, stocks, futures, options, forex, everything has its own advantages, disadvantages. Everything has its own risks. So we should diversify and we should invest what we are okay to lose. Don't put everything, all your savings or something into one bucket. Always diversify them into multiple buckets. And futures, just like options are derived from the stock values, futures are also derived from, it can be various commodities like gold, or it can be wheat, Bitcoin, crude oil, or stock indices like SPY, NASDAQ, so many various things. So, and it is similar, like if you're trading futures, it is just like you're trading stocks, but at a higher scale, at a bigger scale, where you have much more liquidity, much more volume. So you have more potential to make. And also most futures trade nearly 24 bar by 6, Sunday to Friday, from 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. So even on Sundays you can do trading, or even Sunday evenings you can do, or right, if you're working in IT or something, you may be busy between 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday. Whereas with futures, we can trade before before your office hours, after your office hours, even during nights. So right, yesterday we did for 1 hour, we made around $900. Today morning I took some trades, I made another $600. So you don't need to, right, worry about your office hours. That is the major advantage. And then, right, these are various things. Most of you, I already did a session, but again, just giving a quick glance. So this is, right, all the your, we can trade on the indices like ES, right, just like SPY, NQ, Nasdaq index, we can do trading on that. So multiplier means for every $1 move, how much money, how much profit we can make. Or if we take a long, that means you are buying something, and if it goes up, you make $50 for every $1 1 point move. Or if it goes down, you lose $50 for every 1 point move. Then Nasdaq, you make $20 for every 1 point move. For Russell 2000, you make $50. For Dow Jones, you make $5. And then you also have something called as micros. So what do you mean by micros? So instead of, if you don't have a big account or something, and if you're a starter, you always better start with a micros, where your risk and reward are small, right? 1/10. So here, if you make $50 for every 1 point move, here you make $5 for every 1 point move, or you lose $5 for every 1 point move. So your risk is reduced and also your reward is reduced. So one, again, you start with paper trading, then you go with micros, and then you go to minis once you get comfortable on, right, how to do trading, all those things. But these are the indices where there is more liquidity compared to commodities and other things. So that's why generally we take trades on ES, NQ, and also crude oil, because this year, lot, right, there is a lot of because of Ukraine Russia war, or lot of things, there is a huge demand for oil stocks and crude oil futures. So we also take the crude oil. So these are, right, various products like crude oil or natural gas, all these things where mainly crude oil we are taking, but we can also look at natural gas and other things where there is a huge reward. For 1 point move, you make $10,000, but risk is also same. So always better to start slow. And once you get more experience, then we can trade products like these things where you can make a lot more money. Then you can also do futures on the crypto, right? On Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? Even you on Sundays, Saturdays, you can do all this trading on crypto related um, securities. So this is high level. And then when you, right, in addition to the symbol, right, in stocks, just you have a symbol, ticker name, right? Tesla means TSLA, or NVIDIA or AMD. You have just a simple ticker, but here you can trade futures for every quarter or every, right, for every month. There are certain products where you can do December contracts or March contracts or like that. So when you are taking a future contract, in addition to that ES or MES, right? If you are trading an ES, right? If you are trading ES, then generally you put /ES, and then you will do a suffix with the month, right? For example, if you're going to take a December contract, right? Now we are in November, so we generally, the latest is the December one. So we generally take ESZ followed by the year, right? If we are taking 2022 contracts, then you do ESZ 22. If you are taking for January, you use, right, based on the symbols here. So I already shared in the channel, right, all this information. But if you're taking January 2023, then you will put /ESF23. If you want to take February contract, right, then you put the ticker name, then G22 or 23, right, like that. You always will use the ticker, then the month, and then the year. This is how you use the symbols. And what are the major benefits? One is you have diversification, right? You can put into gold, you can put into oil, you can put into crypto, you can do on indices based on, right? For example, if stock market is down, oil generally, oil, natural gas, all of them will go up. You can make money on such type of products. Then leverage, you can, right? Even though ES contract is $30,000-$40,000, you don't need to have $40,000 in your account when you take the trade, especially for day trading. If you're doing day trading, even if you have 5% of that, you can take a trade. Your brokerage will provide the leverage to you. That is, in one way, it is good, but also that is bad if you are a new trader and if you cannot control your emotions, you take huge number of contracts, and if it goes reverse direction, the risk is also high. So you need to make sure you start slow, start with minis, and then only when you get comfortable, go to the micros. Then short selling, right? When you do for stocks or options, right? Especially stocks, when you short sell stocks, so each stock will have a different type of borrowing charges and the collateral which will be held by the brokerage platform. Whereas when you are doing futures, then yeah, it won't take any differentiation whether you are buying or selling. The same amount of same amount of margin will be used from your account. And you have tax benefits, right? You have a 60-40 basis. The 60% is taxed as long-term capital gain. Even though you are making short-term capital gains, only 60%, 40% is taxed at a short-term gains and 60% as long-term capital gains when you are doing future trade. Whereas if you do stocks or options, then everything, if you are closing within 1 year, if you are opening something and closing the trade within 1 year, then you have to pay short-term capital gains, which will be high. So then lower transaction cost because of high liquid nature, all those things, you don't pay a huge amount, or right, with options, you have to pay huge charges compared to that, right? And also you have a huge widespread, right, between the bid and ask, right? There might be a bid at $5, ask maybe $6 or $7. So already you are losing some money there, right? If you take in between the bid and ask. But in futures, generally, because there is a huge liquidity, there are millions of traders trading these. Generally, the liquidity will be very high, and the bid and ask will be very, very narrow. That means if there will be only 25 cents difference between the ask and bid and ask. So that is another advantage. And you can take any number of trades per day. Even though you don't have 25K or anything, you don't have those day trading restrictions or PDT rules with futures. And right, again, you don't have theta decay, you don't have implied volatility. In options, the problem is if immediately if it goes as you expected, you make good profits. But if it takes a lot of time, or if it keeps going up and down, then your theta decay and your implied volatility, they will be killing your premium. Even though stock moves up later, but if it is taking more time to do, then we'll be losing all that money or all those profits. But whereas in futures contracts, if you are just buying and selling future contracts, you don't have that risk, right? You don't have that implied. It is similar to trading stocks, where you buy something, and even though it may go down, if you wait with patience, it will come back into profits, unless there is some bad news about that company, or there's some fundamentally some war or some earthquake or something like that. Otherwise, generally it will come back. And then again, you have when you buy options, you generally buy a put or buy a call, so your premiums are limited, your margin requirements are limited. But with futures, right, as I mentioned, the leverage is high. That means even if you have 10,000, you can do trading up to 50, $60,000. So it can be an advantage, or it can also be a disadvantage if you are on the wrong side, right? They can take out, right? For example, if you have all stocks in your account and you take a futures contract, and you forgot to close it, then they will close, right? Because they have to collect that collateral. They may close some of the stocks in your account and all those things. So better, right? Be careful. If you're a starter, be careful with stop loss and closing the positions, right, without forgetting or just assuming that something will go up. Then you don't have any advance payment, whereas here you pay in the form of premiums, and you have unlimited profit or loss um, in futures, whereas here you have unlimited profit but limited losses with options. So futures is definitely risky compared to options. Options is risky compared to stocks. But again, we know that wherever you have a high risk, you also have a high potential to make money. So stocks, you can make money, but the percentage will be 2%, 3%, right? You need to use a lot of capital, and if it grows also, you will not make much. Options with less capital, and if your direction is right, you can make good money. With futures, you with less money, you can make it right. If the direction is right, you can make huge, right? With options, even if it goes in that way, but if it takes time, you will lose. But here, as long as it goes on that day, you don't have IV theta decay, so you have an advantage there. With limited amount, you can make good profits with futures. Right, again, as I already mentioned, leverage, it can be an advantage, or it can also multiply the losses. So make sure, go slow, don't be in a hurry to make money, take time to practice, and then you can make huge money. So yeah, generally you need only 3 to 10% of the money to take a trade, right? Even though it costs $30,000, $35,000 for a ES, even though you have $3,000, you can take a ES contract. So right, that's what I quickly want to give a quick glance, and then let me also show you, like, we developed a tool, or we developed an algo which will basically help us to take the trades, or which will help us to know the levels. And right, So as I mentioned, right, there are mainly NQ, CL, CLZ 2022 or NQZ 2022, or you have Bitcoin, you have Dow Jones, you have other things. But as I mentioned, there is more liquidity, more volume, generally with ES, right? Because of that payroll news, suddenly it went down, and then there was a support, and then it started moving up. Right? If we catch those news events, we can right, we can make good profits. But again, it is also a risky. Suddenly, if that news is really a bad news, it can continue go down. Right? For example, FOMC. Right? You heard that after some negative statements from Powell, initially it went up because it was only 75-point hike, and then even though it was 75-point hike, the guidance was that they may pause it or they may slow down the increasing the rates. So market went up. So we made money on buying SPY or buying ES on the positive side. And when conference started, Powell, there were some negative statements, and then it started going down. So if you short at that point of time, nearly it went down 100 points. So you 100 into 50 is like nearly $5,000 with just one contract. Like that is the huge potential. If you're on the right side, you can make huge money with futures. So whenever you want to take any trade, not only futures, right? We'll be doing live session for options also later, but you have two sections here. So this is called as a divergence section, right? Divergence means how the volume, how the bullish volume, or how what can be the future prediction, right? How it can turn out. So if you see a green dot, that means it is like there is more bullish volume is coming, more potential for more bullish volume. If you see a blue dot here, oh sorry, I think you are not seeing the screen, right? Right, yeah. So yeah, this is my trading view application where we added some indicators, we created some code, we worked hard entire year to develop this algo. So on this side, you have very different types of futures, but generally mainly we'll be doing ES or we'll be doing NQ. NQ is nothing but you are taking future trades on the NASDAQ index. ES is basically you are taking on SPY, whereas CL is like where you are taking the trades on crude oil. So, right, these are the main ones. We also can take on Bitcoin and Dow Jones and other things, but there is more money, more profit probability with these options. So generally we go with ES, NQ, and crude oil. So you need to understand these two sections, right? Because we'll be doing some Zoom sessions or live sessions for our members, our paid members, where they can, even though we don't provide alerts, they can also just look at these screens and they can also take the trades. So there are two sections here. One is you have a support and resistance, right? This blue line is like a support where, right, basically based on the historical data, based on, right, past 100 years of data, this is a point in this time frame. There is a point where there might be a lot of traders who want to buy something, or this is a point where majority of the traders want to sell something. So this is like a support. People support that price to buy something. People support this price to sell something. So this is like a resistance, which is in the red, and blue is the support. So it is not only humans who are doing trading. There are a lot of algos, like all these big institutions, big hedge funds. They have automatic trading, right? Whenever it comes to this, immediately the people, right, those algos will get execute. They will execute the trades, and suddenly the price will go up. Or when it comes to a resistance point, the algos will execute the short, or they will sell the open positions. Then the things may come down. So we need to generally, right, 80% of the time, there can be always some breakouts where it might go above the resistance, where it can come down the support. But 80% of the time, generally, the trades, right? These support and resistance levels are respected by this, right? It is all about data mining, right? We all talk about artificial intelligence or right data warehousing, data mining. So this is nothing but technical analysis is nothing but based on the historical data, how the mass traders, how they behaved, how they acted at different price levels. So that is one thing we need to understand. So support level and resistance. The second thing is this is the divergence, the second section, where you can see based on if you see a green, that means it is good to go long. It is good to buy. If you see a blue dot, that means it is good to short something. It is good to sell something. So instead of just depending on support or just depending on resistance, we have double confirmation, right? If there is a support and also if there is a blue dot at the same time, for example, you have a candle here, it came here, and you have a immediate a green dot here. That means immediately the right it came and then immediately there was a huge buy. There was some gap also formed and immediately it went to so much, right? So nearly from 10,630 to 10,000, nearly right $20 for every 1 point, nearly 200 points move. That is like nearly 200, nearly $4,000 within just 1 minute. If you just bought it immediately, right? Because of the news, suddenly it dropped, right? That algos they will be looking at, right? Because the payrolls are higher than expected. Because of that, Fed what can do? They can see that oh, people are still working. There is no right, though no unemployment or something. So we can increase little more hikes. So that's why immediately those algos got executed. Suddenly the price dropped. But later they thought, okay, it is not that bad. Then people started buying, or right, there is a support level. The algos started buying again. Then again it went up. So if we can cash this type of moves, then you can make up huge profits either on the downside or upside. If you can analyze that, oh, there might be right the payrolls might come generally, right? That's what is the trend. The payrolls are always coming better than what is expected. So immediately it will move down. So if you can take a risk with one trade or something, you can make good profits. But again, that comes with a risk. But so what I'm trying to say is, if you see a support and also if you see a green dot at the same time, that is a good point to go long. If you see a resistance and if you also see a blue dot at the same time, a candle, this 1 minute candle is near to resistance, and also you see a blue dot, then there is a possibility that it will come down. So generally we use that combination and we can use that for trading stocks or trading a SPY, trading options or futures. The same strategy is used, and we are seeing 80 to 85% success with this. We tested enough for last 6 months, and it is working good. That's where we started. Right, we want to use this for mirror trading and other things also. But before that, we also want to show you right how it is working and how it is behaving. So let's take right. Let's take some trades to know market. Right, yesterday I told you right. Even yesterday's meeting also we discussed that last 2 days there was a huge sell-off because of that FOMC news. All the stocks dropped. So today, right, we expected that there will be a bounce, even though there was a little crash because of a little dip because of that payroll report. But again, market immediately started bouncing, and we can see. So that's what we need to understand. What is the overall trend for the day, right? If you look at 15 minutes on crude oil, right, it is uptrend. Or if you look at ES over 15 minutes or 1 hour, right, it is uptrend. If you look at support in last 1 hour, things are moving up. There is a small dip here, but immediately it's not such a bad news, right? Just that uh, a small bad news, but it is not something major. So immediately people again started buying and everything is moving up. So what is the overall trend, right? If you are a new trader, if you cannot quickly scalp, right, with 1 minute, 3 minute charts, then always look at the overall trend, right? So we know that last 2 days there was too much of sell off, and there is a possibility that it will start moving up, right? So today everything is bouncing, right? Your ES or NQ, CL, everything is bouncing after the huge sell off. So I think yesterday there was one member asking, should I take a loss? I told him that yeah, today it will bounce, and we can see that it is bouncing good, right? Even it broke the resistance, it is moving good. So you have a green dot here, it broke the resistance, it is moving up. So now, right, if you cannot scalp with 1 minute, then you can just be on the long side, because today overall trend is positive. Overall trend is, if you see at a higher time frames, 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, 23 hours, right? If you see the overall time frame, it is moving good, right? Yesterday it came all the way down. Now last 23 years this candle is moving up. So identify what is the overall trend, and then you can just be on that side. You don't need to be on right on you don't need to take shots, right? You don't need to take when it goes to resistance, you don't need to take the short positions, but whenever it comes to the support, you can always take the long, so that you are eliminating the risk, right? For example, right, later, right, yesterday I gave some tickers. We have SQ, or we have Baba, we have Coin. There are a lot of tickers which are, right, XPay, a lot of Chinese stocks. So even when we do options also, right, yesterday SQ gave great earnings yesterday, or XPay, there is some good catalyst, and all the stock, right, Coin gave great earnings. So always be on the positive side, right? Even, right, always be buy calls, even though there might be a little drop down, later it might again go back, right? There might be only a short reversal and again it may go. So always be on the right, on the overall trend. If you are a new trader or not a very highly experienced trader, you may not be quickly able to catch those trades and scalp them quickly. So better you be on the look at what is the overall trend. Okay, Coin, how it performed, right, since morning, right? You can see that going in the upward direction. So there might be some small dips here and there, but you may not be able to catch them quickly. So better you only, whenever it comes to support, you take the calls, or you take the stock, or you take the long position. If you see, right, for example, yeah, it is here, resistance is here. Yeah, it never went to the resistance, but even there is a resistance somewhere here. Don't take, if you are a new trader, right? Always be follow the trend of the day. What is the trend for today for that particular stock, for that particular option contract? Just go based on that, so that you will make more profits. If you're an experienced trader, you may catch that 1 minute, 2 minute scalp also. But if you are a new trader, just try to understand, right? If you go to Thinkorswim or any of your brokerage platform, you see like, okay, how that is behaving today, and then you can easily understand that it is in a uptrend. Or if you see something like DKNG, they got a bad earnings yesterday. What is the overall trend for this one, DK DraftKings, right? It is overall, it is a downward direction. So when you are doing DKNG, you better be on the downtrend, right? Take puts or sell calls, but don't take, even though it might come to the support, right? You can see that it is going down, right? Don't assume that it may go from here, because the overall trend is negative. So always play with the trend, right? So I hope everyone got that right, because last 2 days was more of downtrend, too much of sell-off, then all the institutions, all the hedge funds, or everybody who got money, right? Yesterday I gave an indication that Amazon, right? If you see the stocks channel, I mentioned that, right? All these Amazon, SOXL, Mara, right, are very at very good prices and potential to move tomorrow. Right today, you can see that all these things will move nearly up, right? Amazon may move 3-4%, SOXL may move nearly 10%, Mara, right, may move 5 to 10% because they are oversold. So people want to buy at a cheaper price, right? All these big institutions will put millions of dollars and they will buy at these prices, right? So today you can see that SQ, right? SQ moved nearly 12%, Baba moved nearly 10%, SOXL moved right from Prima, it moved nearly 9%, Right moved 8%, Coin moved 6%. So you can write X moved nearly 6%. I gave all these things yesterday itself, where I mentioned that, right? Bullish list for tomorrow, right? The Mara, AFR, MSQ, MGM, Coin, Marvel, Right, X. So that's what. Just if we analyze things properly, we can understand which can move well. So yeah, let's go back to futures and let's take some trades. So now it is close to the resistance, and we are in 1 minute time frame. So let us, right, it can bounce, right? Overall trend is bullish. It is above the resistance. So let us wait. If it breaks out little more, we can go long. Or if it comes down, right, we can take, right. The curve is also slightly downwards because in last 10 minutes it moved nearly from 640 to 890. 250 points means nearly $5,000 within just last few minutes with one contract, because every point move is $20 per NQ. If you look at ES, it moved from 37.10 to 37.76, nearly 66 points into $50. Each point is $50. So there is a possibility that it can come down a little bit before again going up. So let us wait for the confirmation, because as of now it is above the resistance. That means there is a breakout occurred. But if you see the divergence, it shows that it can come down. The curve is coming down. There is a blue dot, but again there is a green dot. That means again it is breaking out. Right? Our fundamental rules. It should be resistance, and there should be a blue line, or it should be a support. There should be a green line. It broke the resistance and moving up, and there is a green dot, and overall trend is positive. So we can take a risk and we can go long here, right? Because you understood what is the overall trend for the day, right? It is above the resistance. There is a green button. The overall trend is positive. So let's go and take a long position by market. And generally ES and N the same way. So I will buy one ES and I will buy one NQ. I am going long. Or if you don't want to take risk, you can just wait until that rule of having resistance and having a blue, or having support and having a green. But what I expect is even when market opens, there will be a huge bullish volume. So it can, right, overall trend, right? Within 1 minute, you may see a downtrend. But if you look at 3 minutes, or if you look at 5 minutes, right, it is in a positive uptrend. So the possibility of these, right, there can be high volume, even though you can trade futures across the day, but many traders, many algos, or there will be more volume once the market opens, right, which is at 8:30 CST in 20 minutes. So you can see that, right, it is going up. So there is more bullish volume is coming. So again, you can see a green, right, NQ, right, NQ and ES move in the same way. You can see that NQ is also moving up. Yeah, the platforms I support, IBKR or Thinkorswim. These are the, right, in Thinkorswim, you have something called as active trader, where you can just, right, for example, ESG 2022. You can just do click on buy market, you can do sell market, you can do reverse. You can reverse means if you took a long and you want to convert everything to short, you can just click on reverse button. You want to close everything, you can click on flatten, right? Like that, you can do all those things. Or in IBKR also, we can create a similar type of interface where you can do buy market or buy limit. But generally, because futures, you have high liquidity, you don't need to go for limit orders. You can just click on buy market, sell market. Right? You can see that it is moving good. Right? Again, if you remember the rules, it broke the resistance. It is moving up. The overall trend is positive. There was a lot of sell off, and then we got a green button, green dot. We considered all those things, and because it went right, we waited, so that we want to make sure it is not a fake breakout. We waited for some time to see, right, it came little down and then it started moving up. Then we confirmed that okay, it is a real breakout. Right, same thing with NQ also. It is, even if you see for CL, right, again there was a breakout from the resistance level and it is moving up. So on 1 minute, right, if you feel like you are happy with the profits or something, right, again there is a potential for it to move much higher today once market opens. But for example, you have a meeting or something, you want to close the trade, right, you are happy with $100 which you got, right? For example, we made some $84 with $97 with ES, or some $50 with NQ. I can just close the trade, just do sell market, and then you can, right, don't go or don't sleep keeping a position open or don't go to a meeting. Just close it, and again, once you come back, you can open another position, right? Especially if you have a small account, if you cannot take a big risk, better, right? Now, I just took one contract, right? If I took, say, for same analysis, if you take two contracts, you would have already made nearly $500, $600. But again, right, the next resistance, 15 minutes, there was a resistance here, but even it also broke out. There is support here. Next resistance is somewhere here. So again, yeah, with more bullish volume, it can move huge. For example, same thing you got here, right? At this support level, if we started 15 minutes before, and if we got it this support level, already we would have made, right? At this support level, you got a green button. If you took at that point, already we'd have made some $1,000 today with just one contract. Because it moved nearly 300 points on NQ. It moved nearly 40, 50 points on ES. Yeah, again, we designed the algo so that it will create the support and resistance lines based on the historical data. So you don't need to manually draw the lines. Earlier, you have to do everything manually, but now the algo will do everything for you. It will tell like which was the support, which is the resistance. Yeah, basically, right? Micros or minis, it is the same thing. There won't be any change. Only thing is you are investing only 1/10 of the amount, or you are only getting 1/10 of the profit. But in the candle movement, everything will be same. So the same strategy works for SPY, same strategy works for micros, minis, or for stocks. Everything, it is the same strategy. The bottom one is the divergence indicator, which shows whether the right whether it is in upward direction or downward direction. Again, if you know candlestick patterns, all those things, you can also use that knowledge. But again, I want to keep it simple. So just you can use the resistance support, you can use the divergence, and you can make a buy and sell. For example, right, let us say you saw 3 red candles, right, and you are happy with the profits. You can just close it and take the profits. Right. Again, my assumption is it will go high. So I will, right. I already made nearly $1,000 since morning. So I'm okay even if it comes to the, but your situation might be different. So if you want to just take the profits, you can just close the position. So already we took somewhere here, already it moved. So right? Already you are like around $100 profit, but I am expecting we'll make much more profits based on the overall trend. So I am holding them. Right, on 15 minutes, there is a resistance on the 15-minute time frame, but also broke out that one. And even on 15-minute, it shows that it can move up. There is a green and the curve is pointing to the upwards. So the possibility is that it will move, it will break out, it will move high. So if you look at 1 hour time frame, also you don't have any resistance nearby. You can, right, next support is somewhere here. So it can move huge. So in 1 hour also it is pointing towards upward direction. So right, you have multiple confirmations. So that's why I am confident to hold my trades. Right, I am not worried that red. Right, if you don't have any of these things, you will be worried that right, I may lose my profits and you may close it. But because you are also looking at a higher time frame, you are looking at what is the overall trend, where are the next resistance levels on a higher time frame. So we can hold it, and we can make more profits out of it. Right, in 1 minute. Yeah, definitely there is more potential. Again, we also need to see, is there any other event right today. So that's why I shared this. What are the events happening today? Right, all the major events completed: non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, labor force, all those things, right? All these are in EST time zone. And then we have this Boston Fed president speaks at 10 a.m. That means 40 minutes from now. So before that, it is better to close, right? Because if he passes some negative statement or something, again, suddenly it might come down, and again, it may go up later. So before this, we can close. And again, after, right, for example, he says something and suddenly it goes down. And again, we can look at the support level and we can again go long. So we also, right, it is important to know what events are going on. And before that event, if you don't want to take a risk, better close the positions. And after the event, open the positions again. Right, when market opens, I am expecting a big spike around 8:30 in 5-6 minutes. I am expecting that there will be a big spike on ES, SPY, NQ. You can see, right, already is huge buying volume is coming. right? Just with one contract, we made nearly $300, right? Sometimes IBKR doesn't show the correct numbers, but it might be much higher. With the NQ also, we made good profits. So what I suggest is when market opens, there will be a big spike. If you bought multiple contracts, you can sell off some contracts and take profits. If you just got one contract also, because once there is a big spike, then people will also start taking some profits. So once there is a spike, you can take profits and then you can, right? If you have multiple contracts, you take profits on 50% and leave 50%. But if you bought only one contract, just you can take profit. Right at 10 a.m., we'll do the similar thing with SPY. We can buy option contracts with SPY using the same strategy. Right, yesterday we played nearly 10 times, so we made money on both the sides. With support calls and resistance, we bought puts. Yeah, once market opens, I'll wait for another 1-2 minutes and then I'll close the call. But you got the overall concept, right? Looking at the overall trend for the day, and then looking at the support, and then if there is a blue, or looking at resistance, if there is a blue support with green, and if there is a breakout, just check like whether it's a fake breakout or is it a real breakout. If you look at the overall trend, you will understand that, okay, today is a positive day, bullish day. So it might be a real breakout. That's why we did not take a short here. We went with a long. When there is a fake breakout, we waited for 1 or 2 minutes. We saw that, okay, it is really a real breakout. Then we took a long. Yeah, I'll be doing some Zoom sessions. So yeah, where I'll show this, and then you can watch it. But right, because I am expecting more movement, I am holding it, right? But if anyone is happy with $600-700 profit, they can sell it off, right? It is a lot more than, right, even though it is shown. So you can see that, right? Yeah, there is a spike, 37.90. Right? Yeah, you can take profits now. So nearly $500 with just one contract on ES. And then even NQ also might have given good profits. Here it shows only 48, but more than some $500. Right, 1163. 1148. We nearly made $1,500-$1,600 in last 1 hour. Right, with NQ we made nearly $1,200. With ES we made nearly $500-$600. That is just with one contract. If we got multiple contracts, it would have been double or triple that, based on how many contracts we took. Right. Again, as I mentioned, it went high. There will be a spike and then there will be some sell-off. Right. That's why it's important to take profits. Again, this dip is also temporary. Again, it will, if you wait for 5 minutes, again, you will see it moving up. Because some people will only do morning. They will close once market opens, they will take the profits and then they will go back to their work. So that's why even with stocks also, you see that there'll be a huge movement in pre-market, and suddenly when bell rings, there will be upward movement, then there will be downward, and after 5-10 minutes, then everything will become normal again. So if you see stocks, it went all the way up, then it came down again. Now it is moving up. Baba, there was a spike. It is coming down again. It will start moving up. So just we need to capture those movements and just take advantage of them on both the ways. Right. I hope everyone got some value out of the session, and will be post. Right. When we good setups, when we see there is a huge point range, we'll post it, because for 5 points, 4 points, you may be not able to catch them quickly. That's why whenever we see some big ranges, and also I'll be doing some Zoom sessions like this where we all can make money together, and also I'll be posting the Zoom links, and I'll put one laptop so that you can just see the chart and you can take the trades. Again, these are proprietary indicators. So yeah. Right. Someone asked why we are not selling when it was 600, because I see that there is a, right, generally at market open, there will be a big spike. I wanted to take more profits. We made nearly double the profits. ES and NQ, right? They are not 100% similar, but most of the stocks in those indices are, many of them are common. That's why generally the movement, right? They support and resistance might be a little different, but 80-90% of the time it is common pattern. So that's why you can just take, if you are looking at ES, you can also take NQ if you are shorting. Or right, again, if you are a new trader, just to go with one, because if you go reverse on one, it will reverse on both of them. So better you just go with one if you're. In think or swim, basically it is the same thing, right? If you want to buy, you just click on buy market. If you want to sell, you want to short it, you see a resistance, you see a red button, then you immediately click on that sell market, right? It is going long, it is going short. If you want to reverse it, suddenly it went spike, so you want to reverse it now, you can immediately reverse it. From long, you want to go short, or you want to close everything, you can click on flat button. So right, if you see here, there is something called as active trader. This will make you quickly to take the trades. You don't need to type anything, everything will be ready, and you can just quickly buy and sell the positions. Right. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining in, and we'll be doing more sessions like this before your office hours or after office hours, so we all can make some money together. Bye everyone. Have a nice day.